Hi everyone. Have you ever wondered why some women are drawn to troubled men rather than emotionally healthy ones? I believe it stems from unresolved inner child wounds, traumas, and patterns formed in our early years. When you feel an intense, overwhelming chemistry with someone, it's not always love. Often it's unresolved trauma calling out to you. That chemistry can feel like a spark, but it's really your inner child, trapped in an adult body, recognizing the inner child of someone else who mirrors your wounds. Together, these wounds feel familiar. They touch something deep within you, but instead of leading to healing, they often lead to pain. And while you will learn lessons from these relationships, those lessons will likely be hard-earned and painful. Wouldn't it be better to heal those wounds before stepping into a relationship? Let's dive into how unresolved inner child wounds shape who we're drawn to and why they matter so much. The inner child and relationship patterns. The way we approach love and the kind of people we attract often stem from 5 common inner child wounds. If left unaddressed, these wounds can lead us to repeat the same unhealthy patterns over and over. Let's explore these wounds and their impact. 1. The rejection wound, where it comes from. As children, we all experience rejection, perhaps from a parent who said no, or moments where we felt excluded by others. For some, these experiences are deeper and more persistent, shaping how they see themselves. How it shows up: extreme sensitivity to rejection, becoming overly adaptable to please others, fear of expressing individuality. In relationships, someone with a rejection wound might feel unworthy and change themselves to fit their partner's desires. They might avoid conflict entirely to prevent being rejected. 2. The abandonment wound. Where it comes from. Many people have experienced abandonment, whether it's a parent physically leaving or being emotionally unavailable. Even small moments, like being left at school for too long, can create feelings of abandonment. How it shows up: overdependence on partners, anxiety when a partner needs space, fear of being left, leading to clinginess or conflict. In relationships, someone with an abandonment wound might chase their partner during arguments, desperate for reassurance. They might also feel an intense need to stay close, fearing that any distance means they'll be left behind. 3. The humiliation wound. Where it comes from. This wound often comes from being shamed or ridiculed as a child, either by parents, peers, or authority figures. Bullying or being reprimanded in public are common sources. How it shows up: difficulty setting boundaries, tolerating abuse because it feels familiar, struggles with self-esteem and self-expression. In relationships, people with this wound may find themselves in toxic relationships, tolerating mistreatment because they don't believe they deserve better. The betrayal wound. Where it comes from. Experiencing broken trust, like a parent's unfulfilled promises or a sibling's birth taking attention away, can create a betrayal wound. How it shows up: difficulty trusting others, need for control in relationships, fear of being let down. In relationships, someone with a betrayal wound might try to control their partner's actions to prevent further betrayal. They might also struggle with letting their guard down. The shame wound. Where it comes from. Being humiliated or made to feel less than in childhood creates a shame wound. Even well-meaning teasing from parents can leave lasting scars. How it shows up: low self-worth and fear of vulnerability, internalizing blame and shame, avoidance of conflict to prevent embarrassment. In relationships, shame can lead to staying silent, suppressing needs, and tolerating poor treatment because the person feels unworthy of love and respect. Healing the inner child before love. Healing these wounds is essential before stepping into a relationship. Here's how you can start. Self-awareness. Recognize your patterns. Ask yourself, why am I drawn to this person? And what does this relationship remind me of? Therapy and inner work. Work with a therapist to unpack childhood experiences and rewrite your story. Build boundaries. Learn to say no and prioritize your needs. Forgive your parents. Most parents did the best they could with the tools they had. Blaming them only holds you back from healing. When we heal our inner child, we change the way we approach love. Instead of seeking out relationships that reflect our wounds, we find ones that nurture our growth. Remember, you deserve love that feels safe, supportive, and joyful. Start your healing journey today and watch how your relationships transform.